Boris Johnson warns Trump that targeting Iranian cultural sites would break international law.
Here's a summary of the article.
Boris Johnson has warned Donald Trump that any attempt to target Iranian cultural sites would be a breach of international law. Trump on Monday repeated his threat to target Iranian cultural sites, after suggesting over the weekend that the U.S. could hit the sites very fast and very hard. "They're allowed to kill our people. They're allowed to torture and maim our people. They're allowed to use roadside bombs and blow up our people. And we're not allowed to touch their cultural sites? It doesn't work that way," Trump told reporters. Responding to the comments, a spokesperson for Johnson said on Monday that any attempt to target Iranian cultural sites would be a breach of international law. "There are international conventions in place that prevent the destruction of cultural heritage," the spokesperson said. Asked if Johnson regarded such attacks as a war crime, the spokesperson repeated that they would be a breach of international conventions. The statement came after the UK called on Trump to step back from all-out war with Iran.
This post received a score of 41,129, with an upvote ratio of 91%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Imagine going back in time 5 years and showing someone this headline.
Down in the vaults, plenty to read, not much else to do.
Y'all got Mario Kart?
D&D all day.
It would just end up like a strip poker version of D&D. You roll a 1, you lose your pants. You roll a 20, I lose my pants.
Oh, it is illegal. That will absolutely stop Trump from doing it. The United States doesn't acknowledge any law but our own, except to encourage citizens to follow the laws of the sovereign nation they're visiting or living in. We do not acknowledge international law at all, and as far as I'm aware, there isn't a body to enforce international law. I get the intent behind this post, but the US has an extremely long history of not even acknowledging that international law exists, and it's no surprise, when there's zero force behind it.
Oh, the US acknowledges international law, just only when it benefits us. Take a look at the South China Sea. We parade around there with our warships proclaiming international law allows us to.
They have a standing statement that no American will ever go The Hague for war crimes.
Not a standing agreement. They don't have an agreement that Americans will go to the court, since the U.S. doesn't acknowledge the legitimacy of the court over U.S. subjects.
They even go as far as threatening to invade the Netherlands in case the court dares to prosecute American war criminals.
Honestly, what's the point of international law if the largest participant is threatening to obstruct it by force?
There is a point when it gets enforced. That some break the law doesn't mean there is no point to the law.
Honestly, what's the point of the criminal justice system if the most powerful people never go to jail when they commit crimes?
This is why rich and powerful people moved into politics. Have enough friends there so nothing can happen to you.
When Boris Johnson is calling out your shit for being a bit extreme, it really is time to reassess things.
Normally you'd take it as a sign you're doing something right. Something tells me that doesn't hold true in this situation.
I'm trying to wrap my mind around the kind of person who thinks bombing cultural sites is okay. Isn't that what terrorists do? It seems to me a lot of Americans, and one particular whiny manchild occupying the White House, think you beat your enemies by becoming them.
Trump has been talking about killing the families of his enemies, so he definitively has the mindset of a terrorist.
Not to mention he pardoned a war criminal who bragged about killing women and elders.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.